Okay. What do we want to talk about?
Sorry, I missed your show.
It's okay. You'll get it. It's one you want to watch. You'll play it.
I'll watch it tomorrow morning.
It's just shy of 3 hours though. I'm gonna warn you. Took a while to get through it all.
You hit it out of the park, and I'm in the middle of this watching it the second time. You were unbelievable.
Thank you. Gosh.
I mean, you make everything so crystal clear. Unbelievable. And your slides were perfect
Aren't they
and pretty.
beautiful? Okay. Now you go ooh ah over those three
Ooh,
questions.
that's right. Ooh,
Thank you.
sorry.
That's what you gotta do. I
Yeah,
actually
it was
worked hard on
awesome.
those. Thank you, Carrie. I'm glad you guys liked the show. Thank you.
I think a lot of people learned a lot.
It did make sense then, right?
Well, it did to me because we've been at this a while. So,
Yeah.
Getting people to understand what's really been happening and what this has really all been about stems from one place. And it's like a tornado, the way it spun out. It just took everything with it.
My goal was to show that the master is inside the city of London. What I don't know is the name of the person. Okay. I don't know the one, but we're down to the city of London, and that's a pretty safe bet.
Well,
Anybody else are in the second level, the advisors, if you will, in the Deversheim. So, but I wanted to show why the city of London was so important and how we've been dismantling it since 2022 and 3. If you
even
notice, Sean had a hard time going, you mean under Biden's Congress? Yeah, under Biden's Congress. I did that. I purposefully brought up, how that happened so that people will start to stop playing the white hat, black hat. It's not all Democrats. It's not all Republicans. This isn't about right versus left. It isn't about Republican versus Democrat. You've got to get that out of your vernacular.
about good versus evil.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Vicky. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
You might have broke the internet.
I don't think so, but yeah, as we were signing off, Sean gives me this great big thumbs up and a big heart. And he goes, and he, like a baseball bat, and knocked it out of the park, he goes.
Well, today it was Trump said they were 4 to 5 weeks ahead in Iran. So,
Well, you saw that. Why, right?
because of what they did, what they're doing in the Gulf, right?
It's more than that. It's more than that. The city of London has capitulated. They can't win. And because the outcry in and among the British is so loud, they're having that hearing on Wednesday. There's no hiding anymore. That's a big deal meeting. And there was an emergency G7 meeting over this very thing. Exactly, Diane. It is a checkmate. And then he had a long talk with Putin today.
We're betting that went well, right?
I know it went well. He would have said otherwise. I didn't get to play his presser. I probably should grab it and share and play it.
And all the money they were floating to keep the Russian-Ukrainian war going, the whole time they were being tracked.
Right. I
The
showed you
whole
all
time.
of it. I showed you all of it. I could have gone even further, but it was already just shy of 3 hours. It was too much. I could have gone further. I've got names. Anyway, let me show this. I'm sharing my screen. It is about 30 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. It's been a very big 2 days, I have to say. And we'll be heading back to Washington, D.C. right after this. And I'd like to wish everyone a very good evening. And over the weekend, the United States military and the Israeli Defense Forces continued Operation Epic Fury very successfully. Over the past 9 days, we've carried out some of the most powerful and complex military strikes and maneuvers the world has ever seen. Now, you add that up to all of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom of the sea. It's almost 50 ships. I was just notified it's 51 ships. I didn't know they had that many. Didn't last very long. And these are fighting
51
vessels.
ships. Woo.
They're meant to fight, but they're not meant to fight against us. We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing's been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another. Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they deliver missiles. We've struck over 5,000 targets to date, some of them very major targets, and we've left some of the most important targets for later in case we need to do it. If we hit them, it's going to take many years for them to be rebuilt, having to do with electricity production and many other things. So we're not looking to do that if we don't have to. But they're the kind of things that are very easy to hit, but very devastating if they are hit. We are waiting to see what happens before we hit them. We could take them all out in one day, but it's all resulting in a 90% decline in various things, but in particular, Iranian missile launchers and 83% drop in drone launchers. As you know, the drone launchers are pretty well shot, but we're at over 90% decline in the Iranian missile launchers, which is very hard to reproduce and very hard to get. And usually what we were able to do through great equipment, a lot of smart people, as soon as they sent a missile up from a launcher, we were able to knock out that launcher within a period of 5 minutes or less, accurately, right on the noggin. So now we have low-cost interceptors effectively combating Iranian drones, and our B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound bombs to destroy missile launchers all over Iran and buried deep under Iranian soil in many cases. The soil was no match. And we're also annihilating the manufacturing base that the regime uses to build drones and missiles at a rate that nobody thought was possible. We're knocking them out. We know where they all are. We're knocking them out very quickly. We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here. in addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe 3 times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with the situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country in, that's going to be able to do something peacefully for a change. They've been doing this for 47 years, killing people for 47 years, whether it's the barracks or even the SS Cole, where they were involved very strongly. They always denied it, but where they were very strongly involved, and all of the people that died through the roadside bombs died and are right now walking around with no legs, no arms, a face that's been so badly damaged. The Iranian regime has been attacking Americans and spreading terror for 47 years, and despite these countless opportunities to renounce their nuclear ambitions, which they had just a short while ago, they told Mr. Witkoff, who is standing right over here, they said, they actually said, we want to keep building. Essentially, in a real nutshell, we want to continue to build nuclear weapons. If we didn't knock out Midnight Hammer, if we didn't knock out their Iranian potential, if we didn't do that with Midnight Hammer, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have used it long before now. And at a minimum, Israel would have been annihilated. I was very lucky that we had the courage to do that, that we had the talented pilots and the great equipment. The B-2 bombers are unbelievable. We ordered 25 more, by the way. The newer, better version. It's we have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world by far. You see that no matter where we go. You still need the people, though, to operate it and to use it. And those are the people that we cherish. Even after we obliterated their key nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, they never negotiated in good faith. They still continued to say, we want to build nuclear. We want enrichment at levels that were unacceptable. And they even turned down an offer for unlimited free nuclear fuel forever for civilian purposes. We had people offering them free nuclear fuel. They weren't interested in that because they wanted to build a nuclear weapon. So instead, the regime was trying to reconstitute its weapons program at a different site. They couldn't go back to where they were, the 3 sites that we obliterated, but they were starting work at another site, a different site, different kind of a site, and that was protected by granite. They wanted it protected. Granite's pretty good, but they wanted it protected by a lot deeper. They wanted to go a lot deeper, and they started the process while rapidly building conventional ballistic missiles. They were going to do it all at the same time. It threatened our overseas bases and soon could have reached even our homeland. The regime's intention was to use this exponentially growing ballistic missile threat to make it virtually impossible to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So as you probably saw, they had a tremendous number of missiles, most of which are now being used or destroyed, and very unsuccessfully used, because we have been able, for the most part, to shoot them all down. What incredible technology. The Patriots have been unbelievable, and other things. And the laser technology that we have now is incredible. It's coming out pretty soon. Where literally lasers will do the work of, at a lot less cost, do the work of what the Patriots are doing or what other things are doing. The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And if you notice, they did something which was very foolish, very stupid, I would say. They attacked their neighbors. And their neighbors were largely neutral, or at least weren't going to be involved, and they got attacked. And it had the reverse effect. The neighbors came onto our side and started attacking them, and actually quite successfully. If you look at Saudi Arabia, you look at UAE, Qatar, and others. But they were strong and they were smart. But they got attacked. Nobody, when I first heard it, I said, no, somebody made a mistake. There was no mistake. UAE had over 1,000 missiles shot at it, knocked them almost all down. On the very first day I came down the escalator in 2015, I said, quote, I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And all I'm doing is keeping my promise. Think of that. That was in 2015. I said it. It was a threat then and a much bigger threat now, but no longer a threat, not for a long time anyway. We want to keep it that way. As we continue Operation Epic Fury, we're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world. And I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be dramatically more secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We have the best equipment in the world, inspecting for mines. Again, most of their ships are down at the bottom of the sea, but we will hit them so hard that it will not be possible for them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels. We're putting an end to all of this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices for American families. We've done that. We've done it. We brought it very low. This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that, too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it, because you have to keep the straits flowing. With all of that, it affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have so much oil. We have tremendous oil and gas, much more than we need. We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner. They've worked out so wonderful. We're working with the administration, the president, and it's a massive source of oil, gas, everything. But we're in a very good position, but very unfair to other parts of the world, like China as an example. I mean, we're doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. They get a lot of their oil through the straits. So we're doing this. We have a very good relationship with President Xi in China. I'm going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do, and very successfully, I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed, we'll escort them right through. And we have the greatest mine-sweeping ability. We have the greatest ships, and we know exactly where they're placed. We'll get them out of there very fast, but we hope we don't have any of that. And again, if they do that, if they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before. So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands since their last hit. They had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed. But they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder. Thank you very much for being here. Go ahead. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Do you approve of Iran's new supreme leader? And secondly, can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
What did you discuss?
Yes, I had a very good call with President Putin. We had a lot of people on the line from our side, from his side. We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And look, there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't seem to get it together. But I think it was a positive call on that subject. And we obviously talked then about the Middle East. And he wants to be helpful. I said, you could be more helpful by getting the Ukraine-Russia war over with. That would be more helpful. But we had a very good talk, and he wants to be very constructive. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you
but
talking
soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay, and with respect
Very
to
soon. Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, there are two levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But two levels of leadership are gone. Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very, very powerful, very effective.
to Cuba, you said that Cuba wants to make a deal.
Yes.
What would the United States get in return for that, and why should Americans trust Marco Rubio to negotiate it?
Well, Marco Rubio is doing a great job. I think he's going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in history. Look at what we've done as a presidency. Look at what we've done as an administration. They trust Marco, and so do the American people trust. He's been successful no matter where he's been. He also speaks the language, which is always nice and always helpful. But he's dealing, and it may be a friendly takeover. It may not be a friendly takeover. It wouldn't matter, because they're down to, as they say, fumes. They have no energy. They have no money. They're in deep trouble on a humanitarian basis. And we don't want to see that, but they were very, very bad to a lot of people, as you know, and a lot of people living the Cuban-American vote, which I got at record levels. Very important. Those people are very important to me. I know what they went through. They went through hell. Some of them have gone on to be some of the most successful people in the country. Cuban-American business people, some of them are like the most successful in the country. And a lot of them are friends of mine, because I've been fighting this battle with them for a long time. The Castro regime was brutal, but they lived off Venezuela. Now they don't live off Venezuela. Sends them no energy, no fuel, no oil, no money, no nothing. They lived without Venezuela. They couldn't have made it. And we cut them off from everything else. So, yeah, they're going to make either a deal, or we'll do it just as easy anyway. Yeah. Please, go ahead.
There's footage that shows that an American missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I
for that
haven't
strike?
seen it. And I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries. You know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more. But whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic. It's sold to other countries. But that's being investigated right now. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared
Well, I think
for
you could
this war
say
to
it
last
both.
for?
It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar. They have no telecommunications, and they have no leadership. It's all gone. So, you could look at that statement. We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further. But the big risk on that war has been over for 3 days. We wiped them out in the first 2 days. When you think about it, it's incredible. We wiped out a big Navy, very powerful Navy. These were ships. These were serious ships. These were ships that you buy when you want to win battles. They're all on the bottom floor. The sailors are all running off their ships. They refuse to get on the ships. The Air Force is gone. Everything's gone. The missiles are down to a trickle. The drones are down to probably 25%, and they'll soon be down to nothing. We'll have where they manufactured the drones are under fire as we speak. They're being hit. So the rest is going to be determination as to my attitude, along with the people in the Trump administration, what we want to do. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Can I ask you, you mentioned you were going to waive certain additional oil waivers or sanctions. Can you talk a little bit more about that and address in particular?
Well, we're looking to keep the oil prices down. We went artificially up because of this excursion into a very positive thing. I mean, this was an excursion that a lot of people wouldn't have done. I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought they'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful. This was a military success, the likes of which people haven't seen. We have the best military. We have the best equipment. We have, I believe, the best generals. We have the best. And this went very quickly. We talked about that with President Putin. He was very impressed with what he saw because nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. Iran was a very powerful military country with all of the missiles. Now, you had the double attack. You had the original attack with us and Israel, and that knocked them for a loop. Then you had the B-2 bombers, which took out their nuclear capability, and they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And they would have used it long before this press conference. And we might have had a much different press conference if we had a press conference at all. But it's been amazing. The military success that we've had is truly unprecedented.
You've told your congressional colleagues that you will not sign any piece of legislation until the Save America Act is passed. Does that include the confirmation of Senator Mullen as your next DHS secretary? Does that mean a DHS funding bill? And Senator Thune said today it's not a matter of whether or not your Republican colleagues agree with the policy. It's about changing the process. In other words, getting rid of the filibuster to get there.
So in order to get it, you're going to need Democrat votes. And what we're saying is the Save America, not the SAVE Act, which nobody knew what it was, the Save America Act, the Save America Act. And that's voter ID. We want voter ID. When a voter, we want to be able to see a picture of the voter. We want to be able to see that the voter is legitimate. We want, very importantly, confirmation that this voter is a citizen of the United States of America. And we want no mail-in ballot scams. So we have exceptions for the military, for sick, for disabled, and for people that are away, business trips or whatever. Even vacations will be very liberal in that. We've added 2 things to it: no men and women's sports and no transgender mutilization of our children. We don't want it's mutilization of our children, and we don't want that. So we added those 2 things. That's the 5 points. We have 5 very good points. It polls at 86% with Democrats. Think of that. The overall vote is 86%. With Republicans, it's 98%. And the only one opposed to it is a Democrat leadership because they cheat. They want to cheat. So we added those 2 points. We're going for the gold, and we're going to have to fight like hell. Now, certain things will happen. Certain things will take place. I'm here to do a great job for the country. But we don't have a country, if we're going to have elections that are so corrupt and so dishonest like we've witnessed over the last period of time. You know, as an example, virtually nobody has nobody has a system of mail-in ballots like we have. No other country in the world. France went away from it. They all went, you know why? Because it's corrupt. And Jimmy Carter, when he had a commission, frankly, I think it's probably the best thing Jimmy Carter did. He said, you can't have mail-in voting because it's inherently dishonest. And it's turned out to be totally dishonest, so we're going to fight for it. Yeah.
Has Iran activated any sleeper cells inside the U.S.? There's reports that they have pressed that trigger button to activate those cells, at least abroad.
Well, they've been trying for a long time. We've been very much on top of it. One of the things we have to do is get the Democrats to stop the Democrat shutdown, because, as you know, the apparatus that looks into that, Schumer and the Democrats have shut it down, which tells you they probably hate our country a lot. But the Democrats have to open that up. But we've got very, very good intelligence into that. We know a lot of different things that have happened that have been very bad. A lot of them came in during the Biden open border period, but we have them under, we've got them, we're watching every single one of them. Yeah, we know a lot about them. The biggest problem we have is the Democrat shutdown. We know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Do you have to take him out? Does he have a target on his back?
You mean the new supreme leader? You mean the son?
How can there be an Iran with
Well,
another
I don't
Ayatollah?
want to say that, but you know, I was disappointed because we think it's going to lead to just more of the same problem for the country. So I was disappointed to see their choice.
Thank you, sir. You've said you have someone in mind to be the new Iranian leadership, if not the Ayatollah's son. What are you looking for in that person? Are you looking at someone internal, given that you just said that their leadership has been
I like the
decimated and
idea
wiped
of, internal and eternal, come to think of it. But I like the idea of internal because it works well. I mean, I think we've proven that so far in Venezuela. We have a woman, Delcy, who has been, president of the country, very respected, she's doing a great job. And it's, no disruption. We had, as you remember, Iraq, where everybody got fired. The military got fired, the police got fired, the politicians got fired. There was nobody. And you know what they turned into? ISIS. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So I would like to see people that are inside go. Now, they talk about the son of the Shah. They talk about other people. But, hasn't been there in many, many years. We have a formula that's been very good so far, and I think it'll continue to be good. The relationship is extraordinary with Venezuela, smart country. We've taken out 100 million barrels of oil. It's right now in Houston being taken care of and made so beautiful. And you have to see this at work. They have, it's brought to the refineries. It's being refined in Houston, which is made exactly for that product. And so far, but it's 100 million barrels of oil, and now they have another 100 million barrels coming. And it's like a partnership. We're getting along so well with them. It's great for Venezuela, and it's great for the United States. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, you just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
You said earlier that we've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough. What do you consider enough? What's your baseline?
Where they're not going to be starting the following day to develop a nuclear weapon. Where they'll look at that man and some other people from the administration and say, all right, we're not going to do it. They were not willing to say that. And when Steve called up and he said that to me, I said, well, here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way. When basically I can see that they will no longer have any capacity whatsoever for a very long period of time of developing weaponry that could be used against the United States, Israel, or any of our allies. We have great allies in the Middle East, great countries that are allies. And they were staying out of it until they got hit. Someday they'll have to do a story. Why did he do that? Why did they do that? But they were going to hit them. If I didn't hit them first, they were going to hit our allies first. I believe, upon information and belief, but I believe that he was going to, they were going to take over the Middle East. They were looking to take over the Middle East. Now, had Operation Midnight Hammer not taken place, that was definite, because they would have had a nuclear weapon within a matter of weeks. But that took place. That was a setback. But look at the number of missiles they were able to buy and make over the last 6 months. And those missiles were aimed at various countries. And when you look at over 1,000 missiles shot at like UAE, they were looking to take over the Middle East. We got there first. We're lucky. I'll tell you what, the Middle East and those countries, very rich countries, are very lucky that I was president instead of somebody else.
Disagreement between yourself and your vice president when it comes to U.S. action in Iran?
I don't think so, no. No, we get along very well on this. He was, I would say, philosophically a little bit different than me. I think he was maybe less enthusiastic about going, but he was quite enthusiastic. But I felt it was something we had to do. I didn't feel we had a choice. If we didn't do it, they would have done it to us. I felt, based on the negotiations that were being had by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco and Pete, and everybody was involved, I felt that they were looking to tap us along before they hit, and I thought they were going to hit. And if they hit us first, that would have been a very bad thing. In the back, please, in the back. About the Strait, you mean? Yeah, well, I want to keep it open. I want to keep it good. You know, it doesn't pertain to us so much as it does to China. We're really helping China here and other countries because they get a lot of their energy from the Straits. But, hey, look, we have a good relationship with China. It's my honor to do it. Yeah.
Leader, you have called him an unacceptable choice. So does he have a target on his back? And how can you say
I don't want to say whether or not he does, because that would be inappropriate. But, hey, look, I had a target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught the assassin that was after me. So we just got them first. But they caught the assassin. They have him now in custody that was after me. So, you know, but people don't like to mention that, but they did catch him. And I'd like to congratulate our military, Secret Service, FBI, all of the people that worked on that, but they did. Yeah, please. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You promised the Iranian people you would help them, but it sounds like you're willing to end this fight after your military objectives have wrapped up. Isn't that a betrayal of the
Will
people?
I help them? I'd like to, if they can behave, but they've been very menacing. You know, they're great people. They have an amazing population. It's amazing, smart, brilliant, energetic. They have a great, I'd love to help them, but they have to be in a system that allows them to be helped. And right now they're in a system that only allows failure. And I don't want that. And I want a system that's not going to be attacking us. We want a system that can lead to many years of peace. And if we can't have that, we might as well get it over with right now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, as of today, there have been 8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. How many American deaths are you willing to have in this war?
Well, as I said before, when you have conflicts like this, you always have death. And I was at Dover yesterday. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people. They were unbelievable people, but they all had one thing in common. They said to me one thing, every single one: finish the job, sir. Please finish the job. And I'll leave you at that. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
That was a pretty good presser, huh?
Yeah. I sure thought he sounded
Dumbass
tired.
questions.
Always. That's what the pressers are for. Get the dumbasses out in front of the camera.
So Thunkology sent this. Head of Police Federation for England and Wales suspended after arrest. I think this is a pretty good one. The head of the Police Federation of England and Wales has been suspended following his arrest on suspicion of corruption. The Federation confirmed the suspension of its CEO, Mukund Krishna, in a brief one-line statement released on Monday. Has been suspended from his role due to an ongoing police investigation. The man understood to be Mukund Krishna was arrested along with 2 other people with connections to the Federation of the City of London. His properties in Wales, Somerset, London, and Surrey were searched as part of an ongoing investigation. Detective Superintendent James Halkett of the City of London Police Domestic Corruption Unit said after the arrest, the City of London Police Domestic Corruption Unit are leading a criminal investigation into allegations of fraud made against 3 individuals connected to the National Police Federation of England and Wales. A 46-year-old man from Surrey, a 51-year-old man from Wales, and a 55-year-old man from Bristol were all arrested for abuse of their position. So, I mean, pretty damn cool, right?
It's beginning.
Pretty damn cool. So, I have no doubt that what has been happening is nearing an end. They have no tools left in their toolbox in the City of London. They've just took 2 of the biggest weapons they have are gone. The toothless threat against the Ukrainian the UK government is just unbelievable. So I think we're at a different place. What do you think?
It just feels like it. It looks like it. There's discussions being had that have never been had before.
Right?
There's no going back. What does anybody else think?
I think if Iran launches on one of those ships going through that strait or does something really stupid, man, that's gonna be very bad for them.
Did you see the video from today?
Of you?
Yeah. I played a
I was at
video.
work.
Okay, but I played a video showing traffic is going through just fine right now.
Yeah, that's what I seen. This morning they were apparently, I guess they were shutting off their transponders
Yes.
and going through.
If you slow it down and look at it, which I didn't do on the show, but if you slow it down, you will see, because they're all coded numbers, but you will see a coded number come up to one side, it disappears, and it'll show up on the other side.
I just like the way he's taking it, right? So, like I was thinking, 82nd Airborne now, I don't like that, so I like how he's
I told you yesterday.
If you fuck around, they're gonna find out. I like that.
I told you yesterday, traffic will be fine, and it is. They'll be fine. In fact, Sunday there was a test ship that went through. It went through just fine, no issues. And today it's as if nothing ever happened. And then according to Trump, of course, he said they've taken out 51 Iranian ships. That's not a small measure.
Any country would be in trouble with that kind of a takedown.
So as far as Khomeini's son, can you guess why I think I know what's going on there?
Please tell, because I'm sure it goes back to the City of London.
Remember when I showed you the slide where it showed that he moved $1.5 billion into a Dubai escrow account?
Yeah.
I think it got confiscated.
In other words, they were sitting on the other end going, come to Papa.
Come to Papa. We let him live. I mean, he's been there now 24 hours.
Probably seeing what other money he's trying to send out.
Not a threat, right?
No.
Scott Bassett has been telling us we've been watching the money. They've been moving money out by the hundreds of millions.
And they've confiscated every penny of it.
I have
will
a
bet
feeling
you.
that is what happened because it is grand theft, right? They're stealing right out of the Iranian pocket. But also keep in mind when he said, had we not have taken out their enrichment capability, they would have already been enriched, which means my suspicion that Khomeini is dead. He said 2 to 4 weeks, for them to get up to speed. We took it out at a time where they couldn't do that. I think Khomeini is dead. He was dead before we went back in there. And Marco Rubio was the one that explained to us that their intent was to barrage their neighbors to whip them into obedience while they use that as cover to rebuild their nuclear program. So I'm pretty sure Khomeini has already died. Remember, they were waiting for him to die so they could reverse the fatwa, and now they can't reverse anything. That's also a reason why I think Khomeini's son is still alive. I think he's going to work with us to get those free and fair elections, and that's my opinion.
I can see that being a benefit. I mean,
Kind of like Delcy
we all,
Rodriguez, right?
right. I can see that in that he publicly will appear to be cooperating, but he's surrounded by guards that don't belong to the IRGC.
I just think we're in a different place. I think it's a notable thing that's going on. And I guess my show today was good timing because it kind of puts an underscore into who's really this has been after. I've been telling you for a while, this is about City of London. This is about City of London. Now you see it. You can't mistake it.
With all that Iranian money moved out, they can't get it either.
Well, what it did was it put it in a place and I'm pretty sure our FinCEN is what was going on. They watched that. If they were already watching the money moving, then they're picking up those wallets as they move. We already know they were using Tether, the stablecoin Tether, to move that money.
I'm thinking Tether's not going to be around much longer.
I don't know. It's been outlawed in a lot of places. I don't know.
The whole third season of that show on Netflix, The Night Agent, is all about FinCEN.
I don't know the show. I don't have Netflix, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, all of this stuff that's coming right now to bear is like it's seated in the entertainment stuff. So I agree with what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have Netflix, so I didn't see the show. I didn't even know there was one. But I've been following FinCEN for a while, and some of the stuff they've done is just downright amazing. So what do you guys think? Are you feeling comfy?
Absolutely. And I think the end is pretty close.
Scott Bassett said that they'll have a signing party for the Clarity Act sometime in early to mid-spring. Well, spring begins March 20th, so we're there.
Yeah.
I think there's plans that are going to coincide with the resurrection. I really do.
What do you mean?
Easter. Like I think that things like everything is said to be like through the whole Q process, biblical.
Hmm.
I think somewhere around Easter, I think we're going to get some good news.
Well, I don't think you're far off. I mean, Trump told us back in 2020 he hoped COVID would be over by Easter. And when you recognize and can understand why COVID wasn't about a virus, it should start to make sense. And yes, Easter's on the 5th of April this year.
It is. It's just like it's almost like they're throwing bad news after bad news. Like I mean, in the area I live in, Pennsylvania, we just got our taxes and they doubled. So I mean, it's almost like they're just bombarding us with bad news after bad news.
Hmm.
So I'm looking forward to a rebirth.
Amen. Welcome to New
You're
Jersey.
not the only one. Virginia's not in much better
Amen.
shape. In fact, by July 1st, we're in worse shape. We're going to be worse than California by July 1st.
If something doesn't happen before then.
Is that because of the redistricting?
Well, the redistricting, that vote is going on right now. And there's all kinds of they've got billboards up that infers that Trump wants us to vote yes for it. Does it tell you? So you got the redistricting vote, which would take out, there'll be no more elections in Virginia. And then on top of that, you've got 50 new taxes that are being signed into law. So they'll become effective July 1st. So we're actually going to be the worst state in the union by July 1st if something big doesn't happen.
I feel something big happening.
I hope so. We need it.
Something's not right about the whole way they did that thing to get Spamberger into Virginia. So,
Well, we got Spamberger and Vindman. I mean, come on.
yeah. Evidence.
And we got an
something
AG
wasn't
who thinks it's
right.
okay to kill everybody that opposes them. Yeah, it's not pretty here. But I'm seeing so many things. I have hope. It may still get a little messier for Virginia, but I have hope. If not, I'm invading one of y'all's homes because I'll be becoming a refugee. I'll just abandon what I've got and get the fuck out of Dodge.
I don't think that you're going to have to.
I'm sorry?
I just somehow don't think you're going to have to do that. I don't know what it is that'll happen, but something.
It's okay.
Will definitely.
I got a plan B. It's not a pretty plan B, but I've got a plan B.
I have a
You can bug
I
out
have
that,
a room in Florida. FYI. If you need it. It's all set up.
We have an extra room here in Florida too, but you gotta bring all your stuff.
I can't hardly hear you, Catherine. Get closer to your mic.
So I said, we have an extra room here, but you gotta bring your sauce.
I gotta bring it up.
The jar kind, too.
The what?
The ones in the jar, too.
Oh, I gotta bring it all. I just put up 12 jars of sauce today. Actually, my husband did it for me.
The good news is clarity could pass long before July. And no matter what they do, you're going to have the money to get out of Dodge if you want
Right?
to.
I, at the very least, think
And we have
Sean
these.
got it today, don't you think?
Oh yeah. I'm sure he's rewatching it going, what'd she say?
Anyway, I don't have anything else to talk about. To be very honest, I kept in touch with very little because I was kind of busy. It took me right up till about half an hour before the show to get my deck finished. I had to take out a bunch of stuff because it was going to be way too long.
Well, I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. I missed the end. I got raided into the other stream, so I missed the end. But so
It's
far, so
pinned.
good.
I pinned. If you look up, it's pinned.
Cool. Thank
My
you.
husband was simulcasting it to my channel, and I had
cool.
I had 100 people watching it on my channel. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's very cool.
We'll see what goes on. My goal was to of course he played the Promethean ladies, and admittedly they don't understand the whole blockchain piece to this, so I was glad I was able to fill that block in. And they kind of scratched the surface. I went deeper so that you can see how they all fit together. And I hadn't seen the Promethean one until the show. He played that to start the show off.
You should send what you got to them. Maybe they'll contact you and you
He
can
already
collaborate.
did. He
You
sent
did?
it to him. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Yeah, he
good.
told me he was going to send it. He's been trying, and I doubt they will. I told him, don't expect that they will. They've got their own little business going on there. They're not going to bring somebody else in.
No, but they might address some of the things that you point out.
We'll see. I don't know.
So did you say earlier you thought you might have some of the names that were involved in the
In City of London?
City of...
I got
Yeah.
some names, yes. And I'll put that back together and I'll show it to you. Can I show it to you tomorrow? I closed
Yeah.
everything down. I'm sorry.
You know what? That's okay. Got to have, look forward to the next courses. And,
I think you deserve a night's rest, for heaven's sakes. You've been on the go 24/7 since what?
Yeah,
Friday,
but this was
Saturday night?
this was fun. What did you say about Saturday night?
I said you've been going 24/7. I said first Friday. I said, oh no. It was since Saturday night. I think you've been nonstop.
Yeah.
Because I woke up at 11 o'clock listening to you say, oh, when you were going through the thing, and then I'm listening and oh. And I thought I didn't sleep much, but you sleep a hell of a lot less than I do. That I can say.
Well, it's not uncommon for me when I'm rabbit holing to bypass some snooze. I've done that many times, but I do get to a point where I need a day or so to get back on my feet, and I kind of took some of that yesterday. In fact, we went to church late because I couldn't wake up, and then yesterday afternoon I didn't do a whole lot because I just couldn't get it together. I did some, not a lot. The majority of the research I did into today's show was Saturday and last night. And then I had those 3 or 4 slides yesterday when we opened chat. The rest, the other 30 slides I put together this morning based on my research. I spent more time trying to get AI to make my graphics than I did anything else. So that was time consuming.
Looked really good.
I'm sorry?
They looked really good.
Weren't they pretty?
They were really pretty.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with how they turned out.
Especially when you saw them side by side and
Yeah.
you could see the inflowing and the
The
outflow.
Libor is so far. You could see
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
clear.
instantly. Excellent, yes.
Yeah, the first graphic, the shadow banking system, took me the most time to make because it was trying to get the AI to do what I was wanting it to do. It took me a while to get that. Once I got that, doing the LIBOR to SOFR conversion wasn't hard because it took the first graphic and then split it and showed the difference. The third graphic took me a little bit to get done because I wanted to show how all of this fed into the imminent collapse of Iran. And what the maximum pressure campaign was about. So I shocked Sean today when I, informed him that it was the big bill that they passed under Biden, that 2,000-page bill that moved from LIBOR to SOFR, and that already got him itching. And then to show that we started moving from late 21 into 23, June 23, we were done. And then I showed him from that bill, then I showed him the fact he just looked at me and you could see his eyes pop when I said to him, well, you do realize that the interest rate staying high is the maximum pressure campaign. I don't know if you caught the look on his face like, what? So it shot down two of his narratives.
And it was funny when you said Trump plays on your ignorance.
Yeah,
Or
he
something.
does.
Yes, he does.
I didn't say idiocy. I didn't mean idiocy, but people don't understand a lot of this stuff. And contrary to popular belief, he thought I was more of an economics kind of person. I'm not. I've done a lot of self-learning to the best of my ability. Could I have gotten things wrong today? Yeah, of course I could have, but I don't think so. Those graphics came too easily for that to be true. So, I mean, it took a lot to learn it myself. The test was going to be, could I explain it? Yeah, he needed Powell. The higher the interest rates, Christy, the weaker the Iranian dollar gets, and they have to spend more money to do the same thing. If the interest rates had gone down, the Iranian dollar would have strengthened. They would have got more bang for their buck. So that when they talk about the maximum pressure campaign, Bessent's been talking about it forever. What he's talking about is they were collapsing the economy because the interest rate on the US dollar was already high. And because they moved from LIBOR to SOFR, that because they moved the management from the City of London to the Treasury, there was nothing the City of London could do either. So it got them both. It literally killed two birds with one stone. But I hopefully you see that now, right? You get it.
Well, there was a reason President Trump kept going on about that.
Yes.
That went on and on and on. Yeah. So there was always a reason.
Every time Trump called them too late, the interest rate stayed. But I also knew that Powell was doing exactly what Trump needed him to do. So I haven't been on the bandwagon of Powell's a bad guy. I haven't been there at all. But I couldn't explain it until today.
With the City of London, well, more or less down, if not already down, the Clarity Act surely has to come in real fast, because what's going to
Well,
happen
one of the
with,
things I
you know,
noticed, we've already had the announcement from Japan that they're using XRP for cross-border settlements, which means Russia is too, because they were testing between Russia and Japan. They started testing that in 2018, and Japan made that announcement, what, a week and a half or so ago? So we're already ready to move into the new system, and you've been getting those indicators now for a while. So part of all of this is waiting for the system to catch up with with what's going on.
well, I always feel that these things aren't going to be out in the open, that it'll
Mhm.
just seamlessly happen. You know, it's not going to be, you know, a big affair that City of London's gone down. They'll want to put everything in place first. So
Mhm.
it's going to have to seamlessly transition, but I think it has to be quite quickly. Because, like you say, if there's a void, something else happens. So they've got to get in there quick.
Well, the euro dollar market has to shift. You can't use the London hub, number one. Number two, you need globally recognized regulations and processes in place. And I think that's where the US comes in, because we've already started building a global infrastructure for the use of digital in verifying and vetting these transactions. So I think, and we will be the digital capital because the technology belongs to the US. It's our technology. So with that, and because of the way our constitution is structured, the way our leadership is structured, it better guarantees throughput and the lack of, at least if somebody's going to try to corrupt it, that's human nature, but at least you'll be able to catch it before it becomes systemic with this new
But,
system.
do you think that something will happen to show everybody that the City of London's gone down? I can't see that
You've
happening.
got to watch the hearing. There's one tomorrow, one Wednesday. Wednesday's the bigger of the two. Watch the hearing. I think that is how the people of the UK are informed at the level and how systemic the corruption was. The fallout from what's going on in Iran, the fallout of the collapse of the shadow banking system, the fallout from that has just rocked everybody's foundation over there. And you got people that are, how is it you can, you got this financial accountability board that decided they were going to take the new rules and put them off till November. I don't think that works anymore. Their passive oversight led to just looking the other way because they were making money off of it.
I understand that, but how that then gets out to the general public? What
I'm sorry,
without
how does that
that
get? Will the
out
public
to the
listen?
general public? Yeah, I
People
don't.
listening to the hearing are going to talk about it. I'm sure you're going to have some people talking about it. The people that matter most are the people in a position of, the hedge funds and such like that, where they consciously walk away. And the thing City of London is most worried about is the fleeing of capital out of City of London. And they thought that the fact that that could happen, they thought that that would keep the system in place because nobody wanted to see a black swan. But now it's beyond that. You got a double black swan in place and potentially a third. That is more catastrophic than 2008. Does that make sense? So now there's got to be some real, we got to fix it. We got the solution. It's a matter now of getting everybody to adopt it.
Yeah, but I just feel like, yeah, people that are looking, but it just happen, and the general public will just go, all right, okay, whatever, or is there going to be a
Oh,
fanfare about it?
quite frankly, if you've got more buying power with your British pound, that is going to be noticeable. I mean, we watched oil prices go from kissing $120 a barrel to well under $100 a barrel in a matter of a couple of hours, simply because the tankers are moving. The people in the general person on the street doesn't realize that what caused it. But when you can look at and go, the pumps, gas went up to X dollars and it's down by $1, that's a notable thing.
I think Starmer has to go first then, because if not, it's on his watch.
I'm sorry?
What I'm trying to get at is this going to be, known? Are they going to tell us, or is
Depends
it
on the
just gonna
questions.
behind the scenes?
Leslie, I don't know what's going to be said in that meeting. All I know is they're already talking about asking tough questions. How did it get so far? Why did you overlook this? Why didn't you do this? Those are already questions that they're talking about presenting to that meeting to be answered. So I don't know. I'm not inside anybody's head. Definitely not in any planning meetings. But the fallout of what just happened is big enough to force an emergency meeting with the G7 and this hearing in UK. It's big.
Yeah, I understand that. I do understand that. So it might be on Starmer's watch then, and he gets blamed as well as. And
Oh, they're
that
going to blame
makes
each
it
other.
change
Everybody does. It
everything else.
wasn't me, it was him.
Yeah.
We always point fingers. But the
Yeah.
problem comes down to the systemic nature, and anybody involved leading up till now will be at fault. And that, I believe, will come out.
That's what I'm trying to understand, because we've lived through all these years, and we've been waiting for something to come out that will really, hit people in the face, or really, give us real true evidence, not if buts and maybes, or we all know this little bit. It's then that, that truth about this to come out, and it not.
I think the size and scope of the fraud is an eye opener. We're already watching that fallout here. People are dumbfounded at the size and scope of the fraud. I think you got the same message coming over there.
Yeah, but
we haven't even seen California's yet.
Yeah, we're not even there yet, and people are already outraged.
And how much did you say City of London lost?
Well, they're looking for 30 to 40 trillion dollars.
Okay, that should bring people in England in arms. Talk about fraud. That's crazy.
No, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. 20 to 30 trillion.
Okay.
What's a trillion among
Yeah.
friends? Well, at least you all
I
have
just
something to
find
chew on now, right?
I just feel a big sigh of relief because it's so much clearer, and you can see now, we can see how far this has actually gone.
Right.
Yeah, and if those police officers, I think top doggies as well, have been sought out, and names and photographs, that's a really good start.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we wanted, isn't it? That's what we wanted to see.
Or are they the scapegoats?
No, there's fraud. There's fraud.
Okay.
But that's
It's a
just
shame.
all that is a hey, City of
Yeah,
London,
yeah.
right? Wait till the rest
That's what
starts to come out, because it's just an open. All they did was turn the doorknob with that
exactly.
report.
But yeah, and well, we've got so much. I mean, we've got so much, even with the rape gangs and things like that, and who
Hmm.
was, involved in that. Um, that's going to be horrendous. I think that's going to be worse than Jimmy
You're going to end
Savile.
up with mandatory deportation.
Well, the buggers are pretty often. If you go, we'll give you £40,000 a family to get gone.
Hmm.
So I invite you over to Scotland, and then you can bugger off back with your 40,000. But yeah, that's what they're trying at the minute. But hey ho, it's all ridiculousness. Yeah, just want to see it, see it. I just want to, you know, some of that truth to come out, and
Hmm.
instead of it just seamlessly happening. Do you know what I mean? Because that's all this has been happening in the background, isn't it? And you're listening to these podcasts and people talking, and I'm thinking, oh, you haven't got a bloody clue, have you, what's going on? And it's just hard. It's just frustrating because you just want something, you know, just the truth to come out.
Well,
But
it
saying
is.
that,
It is coming out.
it is, but it's, we see it. Like we say, we're all excited to see it. And yet, but saying that, I've just thought them poor Iranians, 47 years that they've been waiting for freedom.
Uh-huh.
40, can you imagine that? 47, and tried various uprising and thinking, well, this is it, but 47 years. That's just heartbreaking, isn't it? And like you say, their faith has kept them going. And hopefully it's here for them. It's still got to be a hard time for them, but so we really can't complain at 9 years, can we? Or 10 years, or however long we've been in the information war.
Well, they've been building this leech of a system since before World War II. It doesn't undo overnight. But hopefully today you saw that there's been a plan to steadily undo it for a while.
I've always known that. Always felt that, President Trump hasn't done this on his own. He's had to do it with the other people of the world. And they've all played their part really, really well. And yeah, it was a spider web, and it was a lot deeper than what we all thought. But yeah, I've always known what they were doing. It's just like you say, when you see the heartbreak, or it's not even a heartbreak. It's like you say, the ignorance of other people, of them just going along their lives and not noticing anything. I don't know. It's but then we've all been there as well. But yeah, it's it's been duped, isn't it, all these years? How they've done it. Yeah, it's just getting your head around that. But yeah, I think it's quite emotional to think we've actually finally got to this part. We can see, and and the City of London, the bad guys, have really got their comeuppance. I mean, there is still a lot of pain to happen there, but yeah. So it's quite emotional to think, these clever people, these people have put their life on the line, and not just this one generation. It'll be more generations, won't it, that have partaken in this bit of history happening. So yeah, but grateful, very grateful to have been here watching it, although it has been painful. It's been a real crap novel, but it's getting quite exciting at the end.
Yeah, it
But
is.
yeah, a bit like a Northern Boone, isn't it? Where they keep going over the same things. Will he? Won't he? Will he? Yes, he will. No, and then it's a happy ending at the end. But yeah, thank you. Sorry. Yeah,
You're welcome.
thank you. Thank you.
Not bad for a Monday.
No, it's not.
Is
I
Sean
apologize
gonna
for
tell us
wandering in late, but, sleep schedule or whatever, because other things have me in odd places. But I enjoyed listening to your talk or finishing that out, and had an extra special giggle about you, including the last your last little video.
Either the 589 video.
Yep, yep.
I wanted to end on a high note, and I thought that was perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the Mickey thing as well. That
Yeah,
again, all
both of them.
quite beautiful. I enjoyed that. Was well centered, well balanced. Very, very impressed. Very good job.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little concerned that I hopefully got it to where it was simple enough. I keep getting told I talk over everybody's head. Actually,
Yeah,
I
well,
worked hard
and
on
again, I
this.
the whole time was giggling about how I would have interrupted with slight corrections about stablecoin stuff, but no, for the most part, you were it was all right on target. You presented it in a way non-crypto
That's what I
in the
try to
weeds
do.
people
You know
could
that.
hopefully understand. Yes, 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 yes. Don't I know?
I try not to get too technical because most people don't understand it. But I was trying to give, and I think I succeeded, a good overview so that if anybody wanted to look into it, they at least know where to start.
Yes, very much agree. And yeah, back to why I'm compelled to tell you it was a good job. Or you did well.
I
Did good.
Coming from you, that means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, it was not an easy thing to put together. I could have gone a lot deeper. Almost did. Took out a bunch of stuff so that it didn't go too deep. I was already when I started the show, I had 36 slides. I was like, this is way too many. I had
Oh, you well,
I
yeah,
had
that
over
was, I mean,
60
that was,
before I cut a bunch out.
yeah, well, still, I mean, that was truly wide-ranging, comprehensive, and yet still all completely connected.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was wonderful, wonderful to listen to.
I'm
I'd
so glad to hear
agree.
that.
I
Thank
just
you.
got on here, Feisty. It was great. It was so good. But I had to go out tonight and just now got on, but I wanted to tell you that.
I'm so glad you liked it. Thank you. Means a lot, guys. This one was, and at one point I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so professorial, and I didn't want that. It looked like a lecture in that I would have given.
No, it's perfect.
I feel good about
Wait,
it.
I kept laughing. The analogy I had in my head was thinking of the Bank of England basically being Cicero, playing the violin on the roof of the burning burning Rome, and you're standing down, by the river, going, "Okay, here's the real story."
Yeah. I was looking through the comments, and they gave a shout out to Alpha Warrior. They gave a shout out to Jeff Debriefing. They gave a shout out to somebody else. Well, Feisty just said they've been all over this, and it's like, okay, they haven't been in my chat room for the last 5 years, so I'll cut them a break. But those of you that have been here damn near from the beginning, little about today other than the graphics pulling it all together should have been new information. We've been talking about it for so long.
I really did like the AI created map. That
Yeah, those were pretty.
Well, and for people who are more visual, that probably helped immensely.
Yeah.
Running it through the city of London on US dollars. Go figure.
Mhm. Well, that is the shadow banking system. And it was
Oh, yeah.
intentionally designed. But the problem was after the Cold War ended, they didn't have the capital like they had before, so they started actually courting. They talk about investment opportunities. They were actually courting sanctioned states.
So they brought the criminals into it.
Yeah, that's why I put the paradox in there, because it is a paradox.
Yeah, it is. And that which they birthed is now going to eat them.
Right. I was going to start, and I ended up taking it out. Trump's snake poem.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is. Ended up taking it out. I don't even know why I took it out, but I took out the snake poem. I know why, because when I tested how long it would take for me to read it was going to read too long. I only had 2.5, not quite 3 hours. As it is, I went over by 15 minutes because there's a hard cut. He has to go to Johnny.
But again, the depth and breadth of what you were able to present in that time was exquisite and so very well done.
Oh my God, thank you.
And there is no fifth level or whatever it was.
There
That
is no step
video
5.
was
Iran is not going to be annihilated. That would be the 5th step, right? There is no step 5. He's
but
trying to
before
preserve the infrastructure. He's trying to preserve the some of the military. He's trying to preserve what is needed to move Iran onto the next phase, but it had to go through near annihilation of Iran to fully expose the city of London, and that he wants to go down.
But the video thing that you played, explaining the 4 points, their greed, them kept winning, so they never ever looked at anything to try and
Yeah, the Mickey B one.
Yeah, that was really good because that sort of just condensed everything. You could see
It just kind of takes
how.
everything I said and puts it right in there.
Yeah, that
Again,
you
thank you, Mongo. Mongo sent me that video.
Yeah.
Although I giggled and you said, yeah, somebody gave me this.
Yeah, all
What did
those
I
little
say?
videos were really good.
What did I say, Mongo?
Oh, you said somebody in your chat had given, again, I'm here to help you as best I can. You do
Well, I
such a wonderful
appreciate it.
job.
But at the time, I didn't know if I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
know
I'm
if
an
it was
unknown,
in the
so yeah, no
no,
sense
I didn't know if it was
introducing
in the chat, and
confusion.
I couldn't remember for sure. And then when I came back, I was like, "Oh, there it is. It was Mongo." I knew the XRP one. I pulled that off the internet last night, but somebody else had dropped the link, and I couldn't remember who dropped the link.
Oh yeah. Well, and they were all new, and yeah, again, I just happened to be the first or saw it and was like, "Ooh, this is right up your alley," or what you're talking about, and maybe it would be of use. And I was tickled pink that you were able to use it.
I used both of them.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Which I appreciate because I thought it was a great way to end a doomsday topic.
Yes, it really was. It was like you said. You ended on that high note. It was, and again, that was just the beauty of the whole presentation of how well done and orchestrated it was.
Well, I know, people are real nervous about crypto, and I get it. They've done their level best to make people scared to death of it. And hopefully
Sure. Well,
now,
well, even like Mickey says, it's it reconceptualizes what finance is. It's not the old way of thinking and understanding how it works. It's something more. It's something different, and that's
Right.
intimidating.
Well, it doesn't help that people on the right and the left have villainized it.
Oh, certainly, yeah. Well, and again, there's the where and how you draw the line of disinformation versus misinformation versus just not comprehending. There's a lot to wade through, and it's difficult to know who to trust. And it was nice to see you as a trusted figure utilizing and saying, "Hey, listen to this," and pointing in a direction that is meaningful and has purpose and is not speculation and guess and is not influencing. You're not making money off of this. You're helping others come to comprehend what the possibilities are.
Right. I think too, a lot of people are wedded to certain narratives. And they're trying to retrofit what they think they know into the new information. And it's hard because a lot of the people they were taught to hate or were bad really aren't.
Oh yeah, well, and that's just a part of all the bizarre dimensions of all of this that you're able to see through and provide clarity for.
That's why I enjoyed so much showing Sean. Yeah, Biden administration passed the law that created the crises for City of London.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, Powell was doing a good thing.
It was great to see the little birdies flying around his head.
I mean, did you see that look he gave me? Like, what?
It was definitely an oh my god, a three-sided oh my god.
So, and I don't expect everybody to get it all, but hopefully they'll go back and listen again. I have to say,
Yeah,
watching
definitely agree
Sean's
with that
face
because
at
as I
times
said,
was fun.
you packed just mountains. I mean, entire mountain ranges of information into that presentation.
That was the hardest part, Mongo. How do you make that much information fluid? That is
Right.
not easy to do.
Yep. Well, obviously, I can't do it at my in the weeds level, but at the level at which you presented it was beautiful.
I'm so glad. Like I said, coming from you, that means a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I had a couple of times I'm thinking, I bet Mongo wants to jump in. He's biting his tongue right now because
Well, like I said,
for
had I
you,
been
I
able to be away to
oversimplify
listen,
things.
I may have, in fact, I still laugh because I'm over there. I'm Chet Norris. And a couple of different times he's like, "Who's this Chet Norris?" So I don't think folks have caught on that's one of my million different nicknames.
One of your nicknames. I didn't even know that was you.
Yeah, I know it. That's why I mentioned it because he's mentioned me or mentioned having seen my name join and send something a couple of times, and it's like okay, but I'm not here to make news for
I
me.
tell you, when Belushi said that I did a great job, that meant a lot because Belushi has been asked by Sean to run a crypto show.
Yes, oh, good for him and wonderful. Yes, I'll have to try to pay better attention to that.
Yeah, Belushi's pretty up to speed. Although I think he's a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not sure.
Again, I mean, you and I are not, but there is merit to keeping an eye open and listen to what they understand and comprehend, and that we learn together. It goes back to we're all working together as opposed to trying to make money off the other guy.
And that is a very different concept than the money we've been forced to love and hate.
Did you like
exactly.
this?
It's
I
just
kept
the
using
non-influencer approach.
using the term reimagining money.
Yep.
For that reason.
I'm wondering how they're going to do that to the general public as this clarity bill comes to pass, because
Well, I already know one of the bills passed in the end of 2020, beginning of 21. I can't remember which. Forwarded money by the Treasury to do shorts on YouTube and other venues to show how the crypto system works. They've been doing that now about 3 years, I think, 3 or 4 years. No, Karen, Sean did not jump out of his chair, but he was taken aback by a few things.
Stop laughing. Because here you are doing all this work to dumb it down, and then he goes, "Can you dumb it down?"
I know. Did you see the look on my face? Like I thought I did.
Yeah. You're like, come on, what do you mean? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I got nervous because I thought, oh no. Oh no.
No, you did really good.
My husband said to me he was riveted.
It's definitely one you gotta watch a few times.
I was hoping not.
No, it's a good thing though, because it's a lot of information. And well, again, I was at work, but I think watching it twice, you would absorb it more.
Yeah, I should have taken notes, but as far as you dumbing it down, I understood it. So you must have dumbed it down enough. I
Oh,
would just
good.
have to go back to see him.
I'm really
few other
glad.
things. Mhm. It was good.
Feisty, I think it's you understand it, but you need to go back and listen again. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
understandable, but it's so complex. It's wonderful to hear it all again. Probably 2 or 3 times. And I've been around a while, listening to you, and it was familiar, but the way you tied it all together, it was just wonderful. It was just great. So yeah, I definitely am going to listen to it another time or two. It's great.
I'm so glad. I'm going to drop the 3 graphics. But I gotta alter the document a second. Okay, I'm going to drop the 3 graphics. I am proud of these. This first one was the hardest. Once that one got to where I wanted it, the other 2 were easier. But the third one, I had a hard time getting it onto one graphic because it is complex. Okay, shadow banking, LIBOR to SOFR. Wait a minute, let me do this. LIBOR to and Fallout. There you go. There's all 3 of the graphics. And Mongo, since you know what I'm trying to highlight there, if you see something I didn't get right in the graphic, let me know. Because I will immediately try to fix it.
Yep, will do. I screenshotted them in your presentation and hadn't had a chance to go back and look deep because I was wanting to try to get over here to your chat. And so I was burning my candle at both ends. But yeah, I'll look them over.
And I used my new avatar that Sean made me the other day. Yeah, like I said, that first graphic showing the shadow banking system, the whole euro dollar piece to it, that was the hardest of all of them. Once I finally got that, and by the way, there's a lot of research in that, trying to understand what the major assets are for each of the countries. And I could have gotten more in there, but what I tried to do is stick to the high level ones, and then showing how London controls the dollar lending and rates offshore, and it's outside of our own Federal Reserve's control. That was hard to get into the graphic. So if you see anything, you need to let me know. But I think I got it finally. Like I said, that one took me almost 2 days to finally get it. And then the second one, when I showed the difference between the euro dollar and the LIBOR system and the Treasury repo system with the SOFR system, so that you could see that what it did was we quietly moved control to the Treasury and away from City of London. That's the big deal. That's the beginning of the end. And then when you take all of that with the fallout, that's that last graphic showing how you take it from the one stage and how you can then use it as a maximum pressure campaign. I had to remove, but part of the maximum pressure was Powell keeping interest rates high because it made it too expensive for Iran to do anything. And there was nothing the City of London could do to backstop them. So the best I could do there was the FinCEN part, where now they're just tracing and tracking the money. You notice it says SOFR linked monitoring. Because the control is now back in the US, we can use our own regulations, our own tools to trace and track. That is the big deal. And that pressure campaign is what led to what we're watching right now. A City of London cannot protect Iran, and Iran can't use City of London.
Right. Where again, blockchain, it can't be hidden. People can still cheat, but they can't hide that they cheated.
Right.
They can and will be found. There's no changing it after the fact or saying,
I purposefully didn't use the blockchain language because we're assuming it isn't in place yet completely,
right.
because we don't have clarity. But you can see how that fits in and how it will completely tighten or harden the Treasury's oversight tools.
Right. It's a freight train that can't be stopped. Yep.
Right. I like the last graphic. The first graphic, it was like, finally. The last graphic, I went, oh, that's pretty. Anyway, there you have them.
City of London's been having to sit back and watch them take bites and bites and bites out of this for them, and they couldn't do anything to stop it.
Well, they're scrambling right now.
I guess
They
didn't
are
hear warning
definitely
signs.
scrambling right now. And I showed you that, and I didn't bring in the names. I will pull all that stuff back in and show you where it fits in. I only gave to the mayor of London, City of London, and the basically the judge in the City of London.
Well, there's nothing they can do to pull this back now. It's gone too far.
No, it's like Mongo just said, it's a train that can't be stopped now.
And apologies, I'm on whisper mode now.
hmm It's pretty sad where you put 36 slides together and you spent most of your time on 3 of them.
Well, that's why I said some people are very visual, and
hmm
the words might not have made much sense to them, but when they can see it like that, it'll becomes much more clear.
What do you mean the other 4 moves? They're just useless moves, and it finishes with a checkmate. Ruby, you're talking the Capablanca game. After the pawn queens up, there's about 4 moves left in the Capablanca game. They didn't take them, but you can follow the last 4 moves till the actual checkmate. There was no reason to actually take them in the game. It was over. That pawn queened up, it was over. And that's why I was saying, it occurred to me today, what if that pawn is Iran? It is notable to me that the Ayatollah's son is still alive. Isn't it notable to you?
That is not what I expected. But I do see it as a pathway for them to get into different leadership in there and have time to structure it.
I'm not shocked by it. I was convinced back in June that the Ayatollah himself was working through Russia and China to affect what happened in June. He knew that as soon as he kicked the bucket, there would be a nuclear weapon within a few weeks. He knew that. And so we get in there before they could reverse the fatwa, take out their nuclear capability. Then you listen to all the talk that's going on. They were going to use the ballistic missiles as shield while they rebuilt their nuclear. The only way they could do that is if the Ayatollah was dead.
Oh, absolutely.
And at one point, Trump put out a post about how he knew where the Ayatollah lived, but he had no intention of harming him. It was a post to that effect. So to me, it's not hard to figure out. And now that his son, and the true test is he's made it over 24 hours. He's still alive. We haven't taken him out. So in my view, I think what they're going to do is much like the Venezuela model, they're going to use him to bring about free and fair elections.
I heard he did get injured in the airstrike, the new guy, his son. But it's hard to confirm, right?
That's not confirmed. I tried to look
Yeah.
I tried to find out if he was. The picture they showed of him, he didn't look injured, but it could be stock photo for all I know. But I couldn't find anything for sure that said he was injured. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Yeah, I couldn't find
the same
anything.
thing. So yeah, I couldn't either.
Mhm. I tried, but at least for now, injured is still alive. And I find it interesting because it looks like the identical model that they used in Venezuela, where Delcy's now the interim president. They're doing their cleanup and they're going to call for elections. So it just makes sense to me that you would use the face of the outgoing leadership to bring about the change and then get rid of that face. I don't mean that in a negative way, but just like Bibi Netanyahu, he is not going to be prime minister. Bibi Netanyahu will go. You don't use the face of chaos to bring about the rebuilding phase. And that's what we're watching in Venezuela. That's what's going on there. We'll watch it in Iran. We're already, the Board of Peace is in place. Here we got the Security of the Americas team in place. I mean, so the faces of war can't be a part of that rebuilding. It won't work otherwise.
Whole new generation coming up.
Yeah. But when you take over a company, and I've done a lot of M&A in my career, you usually keep the company you're acquiring, you usually keep the leadership, usually no more than a year, to do the transfer of knowledge. Then you get rid of them. They do that for a reason. Yeah, and Mongo, I don't see. I mean, if the U.S. could sit and manage the transition, but then we would be seen on the world stage as dictatorial. I don't care what anybody says. It'll be a new colonial type power, and we don't want that. And it's also completely contrary to what Trump has been working towards.
He wants their allies in the region to be more involved. And
Well, he also wants them sovereign. The first step to getting them involved is sovereignty.
yes.
And true sovereignty means you butt out, let them deal with their internal politics. I like that sweatshirt, Joe. Yeah, just like Mnuchin said, Mongo, all economies are local, which is why I wanted to play that. I put it in a couple of nights ago, but the bit where David is talking about the banks are squealing about oh shoot. Come on, what are they? They're squealing. My head is gone. They're squealing about yield, and they want. They're concerned that stable coins will lose them their yield, but what they're finding out, and this is, remember we were told a long time ago, all banks will come to the table. The regional banks are going to fare better in this transition than the big banks, which is not a bad thing because it'll probably help them to decouple. I mean, they made themselves into conglomerates. Maybe they'll have to downsize a little bit. And what are we finding out in London? You got these major banks in London are laying people off. All in all, it's a good time to be alive, don't you think?
Once people realize how close we were to losing it all, oh boy.
The necessary scare event, maybe?
Yeah, we know something has to happen that's, like you said, that a super high emotional pitch point. And so at some point, I think maybe in the not too distant future, we are going to find out where we were really at before 2015, 2016.
I know
Maybe
what I
it's
forgot.
Rubio that's gonna.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
maybe it's Rubio that's going to address that. I can see him speaking about it. He's good.
I am very thrilled with Rubio.
President Trump was quite respectful and quite made a good point about him, especially that stupid comment by the press.
I couldn't believe that. A couple of them. How many people are you willing to see die? Oh, shut up, you jackass, right?
It's kind of like, you idiot, don't you realize how many have died? Or wait, no, you didn't do your
Wait, no, you don't, because you thought it was all bullshit anyway. Yeah, I know Rubio's going to Cuba, and he's the right person to go, by the way.
He is, and what a great way to
Bringing freedom.
yeah, what a great way to get the Western Hemisphere cleared of what was being done through Cuba into the rest of the region. It's just awesome. A kid who's basically from Cuba, right?
Yeah.
Well, his parents are.
Well, there was that Trump, Rubio, and Hesketh, and Rubio spoke in Spanish, wasn't there? They were laughing and joking about it. But President Trump was talking about having an interpreter that's good or bad, so you don't exactly know what's actually being said if they're interpreting what you're saying. So I thought that was quite eye-opening why he had to say that, because obviously he's maybe been in meetings with interpreters that haven't done a very good job. I don't know, but I thought that was quite. They're making a laugh and joke about it, and then Rubio's going over to Cuba, and because he can speak Spanish there or Cuban, then he'll know exactly what's being said and how to interpret it. Trump
By
doesn't
the
do
way,
something for
Mongo,
nothing.
I forgot a slide. This one. I think this will cancel. Hold on. I got to pull something up. This one. I like this slide. The contagious dominoes. There's one. So you see what they did? I look at this. It's beautiful. First, the Lloyds of London, the nuclear option completely collapsed. Using Zanjani as a way to get intel as to what's going on in Iran collapsed. The honeypot no longer works. The global stablecoin snap. Tether was in Johnny's preferred stablecoin that he was laundering money with. And then finally, the legal domino effect, the rule of law, the whole thing around war and the war footing and all the legal ways that they prevented insight into the Zanjani network. All of that is collapsing. That's the hearing on Wednesday. So, Leslie, hopefully that helps you. This slide helps you with what to expect. Again, those are also AI'd. And that global stablecoin snap, that's where clarity comes in. We already got the framework in Genius Act. Now you need clarity. Yeah, the spike I gave about USDT. I had to pull it in there because that was his preferred method of laundering. I know, right? I'm dumbfounded people didn't see that. Remember when they were saying, I'm going to invest in Tether? It's like, why? Why would you invest? Remember at the time it wasn't even pegging at a 1-to-1? It's like, why would you invest $1 with a return of 98 cents? Just doesn't even make sense. Anyway, I'm gonna go since we're not talking about anything else but this damn presentation. Unless anybody's got anything they want to add to tonight.
You
I
done?
don't.
I'm
I'm
proud.
sorry.
You done good. I'm proud of you, and thank you.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
So is everybody good?
You go
We're all
get
good.
some chilled out rest.
You all have a very good night. Thank you.
Good night.